What's up, everybody? Wolf of Walmart. We're back. We're back, baby, again.
Not a bad fish right there, guys.
Oh, no.
Out here catching Folsom bass right now, dude. Woo, he's a little chunker. What up, what up, what up? 'Tis I, Dave Erkey, Wolf of Walmart. How's it going? And this is the inaugural set off, the kickoff, the takeoff. Hopefully it all works right off the start of the Whole Angler podcast. And the only way this could ever happen or would have ever happened is these two gentlemen right here. I got Matt Sowders and Brad Hicks from the Catch podcast, Loveland Canoe Kayak, all their sponsors. These boys, they sitting in the back room bobbing their head, just listening to music. What's up?
Dude, that intro is bomb. I'm about it. That was sick. That makes Brad's intro looks like crap.
Hey, I just saved your butt too because you forgot to add you to the screen.
You did. I was like trying to almost remove myself.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, this is dude. And honestly, I can't even take credit for all that because like honestly, I like worked on that stuff and like re-edited it. I sent you guys like 1 billion copies. Like I felt like super insecure about it, whatever. I was like, I want it to be great, but you know, I also want it to be done. And then I tried to upload it and I couldn't upload it. So I just sent it to Brad. Brad uploaded it, or else we still wouldn't have a song.
Yep. Worked out pretty good.
Yeah, Brad's like the evil genius behind all of this. You know, he
is. He's a tech wizard. Like I just finished editing the video for my side of the Wisconsin trip, and I got it uploaded. And I just text Brad. I was like, "Make me a thumbnail." Like that's just how it goes. He just does all the creative stuff. Brad.
You got a hold of my banner already. I totally copied that banner from the Catch podcast. Dude, I just want to say thank you guys. Like, I genuinely appreciate all of this, dude. I don't know what you guys saw that figured I could do this, but I have been shooting from the hip for a minute now, so thank you.
Heck yeah.
No, brother. Super excited. You're going to be awesome. I mean, you've co-hosted enough shows across the realm that you have experience. So
yeah. But it's also I've never had all this equipment. I've always done it like with my phone. So like trying to get all of this to work, which is literally microphone and headphones and a camera is you should see me. I've been up at night working, like trying to figure this out, like practice. Like if you ever jump in the test room at any time, you're probably gonna see me like trying to figure everything out, dude. It's so sad. My wife comes out here in the middle of the night. She's like, "You need to go to bed." I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Practice makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and then as soon as it comes to recording, everything falls apart, and all of my practice goes to nothing.
If it makes you feel better, me and Brad have a plan for every show, and we never do the plan for the show. So
awesome. It does make me feel a little bit better.
Good.
Yeah. So the whole idea of like this whole thing, and when we talked about it originally, was like I get tidbits of interesting information from all these interviews, not just you guys, but like other podcasts that interview a lot of people. And there's a lot of stuff that I hear about in fishing that I don't feel has either enough light or I have such an interest in it that I want to hear more. That's kind of why I jumped into this. Like, if we're going to do this, can I do this? And you're like, yeah, go for it. Whatever you want. I was like, okay. So it's like someone tried to not dumb it down, but like condense it to like angler mindset or angler mindset or mental health. And it's both and more. You know, I don't really want to have a single direction for the show necessarily, because I think that there's so much out there that people could benefit from, like whether it comes to PTSD and veterans or all the way down to potty mouth jokes with your buddy. Like it's all relatable. It's just a matter of like finding what people want to attach to and what people don't. And this show's not going to be for everybody, and it could totally be terrible. And you guys could have invested all this, and I could feel really bad for saying, sorry, nobody likes it, but I'm still trying it anyways. So, I mean, do you guys have any hangups on this? Is there any ideas like that you guys want to shoot across, or because I mean, I'm always open for ideas. I'm not a genius at all. in case you didn't notice.
Well, no, I think that's what makes it cool. Just as like a friend, you're always open to not criticism, but like other ways to, which you're open to criticism too, because I'm pretty sure you've like called me in the middle of the night, my time, and you're like, hey, how should I mount this? Does it look good like this? And I'm like, no, man, it looks stupid. And you're fine. And then you're like, well, and half the time you're like, I'm going to do it anyway, but I just wanted your opinion. I was like, okay, well, you got it. Yeah. But no, I mean, we talked about it a lot. I know you and me, after you co-hosted the show with me, I had brought the idea up.
Yeah.
And me and Brad had talked about it a little bit. And it's like, I think me personally, I think you're going to be such a good, of course, Brad's screwing with stuff in the background. He can never not touch things. He's like the kid in the candy store. It's like, Mom, I want the rock candy. No. And then she looks around and his face is covered with sugar candy. That's Brad.
If you're on the YouTube right now, enjoy this. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm about to say the screen's flipping, giving me epilepsy. But no, I think how I looked at it is you look at everything just because of your past experience in your life, which I'm sure you'll eventually, tell your listeners about in your own time. But it gives you such a outlook on things that's different from everybody else. And you had brought up the idea, you're like, oh, what kind of show? And I was like, I mean, whatever you want. And then you had brought up the idea of, the whole angler, like not just the fishing stuff. Like me and Brad really just focus on just the fishing stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but there's a whole other side of that a lot of people are interested in. And it's the mental side off the water. How do you do this and that? And how do that affect your fishing? And you brought that idea up to me. I was like, dude, that's going to be perfect, especially with your type of personality. Cause you you dig.
Yes.
Yeah. And which is not a bad thing. Like I've had, like you will call me just to check up on me to see how's everything's going on. And like, you see that a lot from the military side of it. I get buddies who still call and I call them just to check in. So, I mean, I think it's going to be like a great fishing kind of focused, but also life focused. Cause no matter how much time we're on the water, there's usually equally or more time off the water. So I think it's going to be, I'm super pumped. I'm excited.
Appreciate it.
Brad. There's like a group of people out there that use fishing as like their addictive personality. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that have come from like drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
And you could go into that kind of thing doing these kind of shows, and talking about how fishing helps them with that addiction fix that they need, and kind of getting the word out there and helping somebody else that might be in the same situation.
Absolutely. And also in my experience, the addictive aspect of it, because I definitely have that, maintaining fishing being a reset, like a mental, emotional reset instead of an escape. Because the more escapes I get, the more chances I want to escape, like the more I take chances to escape, the more I'll be out there, the more I'll be buying awesome lures instead of like making sure that I have diapers or whatever it happens to be. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to be fishing. I'm going to wait till they fall asleep and then I'm going to go out. Like,
so, dude, it's a thin line for sure. Like Brad brought up, like a lot of people leave addictions and the fishing becomes a new addiction and you can lose more money in fishing. And just like, I mean, you can really kind of go overboard, but yeah,
I'm definitely going to be on that topic a lot, actually. So it's a good one.
And then there's another whole completely different topic where you could just talk to people that like have gotten burnt out on fishing and, find out why that is and what you can do to help them come back to it.
Yeah, dude, so that's a great idea. I didn't even think about that because the burnout is real. Me and Matt,
I get that way every summer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, me and Matt were talking a little while ago, and the burnout is definitely real. I just want to figure out, like, because I'm still so new, and it's like fresh. Like, my burnout is not there. Like, and the fact that I have a family and like a lot of life going on. I'm always moving, so the chances of me being on the water is a lot less. So I rarely get a chance to burn out. But I was really interested. Me and Matt were actually talking the other day about like these guys who do like, whether it be these guys right now, like I seen Russ Snyder's out there fishing for Team USA, all this kind of stuff in another country. Curious, like these guys travel for fishing all the time, not just him, but all these other anglers, all these other kayak anglers are traveling all over the US. And my curiosity is like, dude, do you stop and like check out the local museum or like what, like the world's biggest ball of yarn? Like, why not? Or are you just going there straight for the tournament and then to turn around and leave the tournament and like go to the next tournament? Like, do you stop and enjoy your life? When does burnout happen? When does enough become enough and you go there? Sure, you fish the tournament, but you also stay a little bit longer and like catch some sights, you know, like you guys went and ate at some crazy place. I was listening to your show today, by the way. It's Monday in case people don't know, or not Monday. It's Tuesday.
It's Monday.
It's Monday. It is Monday.
It's Monday. Yeah.
That's my life, dude. Trust me. And I was listening to your show today and you guys were talking about, you guys stopped at 8 and I was like, that's tight. Like, that's the stuff. I want to know, like, not just what's the good food, but like, let me see that we're the nation's biggest fat cow or something, you know?
Yeah. No, I always make it a point to, in like whatever city I'm near or whatever, I always make it a point to go and try whatever food they're known for. Like when we go through Chicago, I go and try pizza and hot dogs. If I go to Pittsburgh, I eat pierogies. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I go anywhere, I eat chicken tenders because I have no palate. I don't like trying new things. I like chicken, bland chicken, maybe some honey barbecue if I don't feel like I'm doing anything the next day and I could be on the toilet.
Dude. Okay.
Well, I completely agree with you though, man.
Yeah. I want to know. Those are the little things that I'm curious about that I want to try and find out or dive down the rabbit hole. But also we're talking about the whole angler, I'm not just going to get anglers on here. Like I'm trying to slowly finesse some anglers' wives to slowly come on here. Like I don't even know how to finesse people I don't know, but like, you know, I'm just trying to be sweet and nice and kind and genuine because that's all I know how to do really anymore. I mean, maybe not nice and kind because if you talk to my wife, I'm not always nice and kind, but point being, trying to be genuine about it. Be like, look, this is just what this is. You know, I just want to know what that type of, how fishing and how the angler fishing is affecting the relationship, the household, positively, negatively. How does it affect the spouse? How is that relationship built stronger by giving said person a chance to get out and get on the water for a few hours and clear their brain? Like, is there less arguments in the house? Are you guys more apt to be able to communicate better? And there's more, what do they call it when two people are in a negotiation? I can't remember what it's called, but I do it all the time.
Negotiation?
Yeah, I do it all the time with my wife when you like sacrifice something in a negotiation.
Yeah.
Compromise. That's what I'm looking for.
Compromising, yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a lot more compromising going on in my house. This is my honest truth. There's a lot more compromise going on in my house when I get a chance to get on the water for a little bit longer every now and then. I tend to be a little bit more comfortable to be around. That's just me personally. So I can't speak for everybody else, but I would love to know how the other side of that. I'd love to know the type of person that supports the angler, or, you know, emotionally and mentally, and like what goes on there. You know, it's just interesting. I just want to find out, because you hear Kevin Van Dam and all these dudes coming on all these shows. You never hear Kevin Van Dam's wife coming on these shows. You never, you know, like, I don't know if that guy loses a tournament, goes home and kicks his dog, or if he like goes home and he's just like, you know, like, I don't know. Not that I'm really trying to air out like KVD's dirty laundry. I think that dude's awesome. But what I'm saying is, I'm just curious. Like, I want to know who the person is that I've been glorifying for the past few years. So
you don't have permission to talk to my wife, because she'll just bash me the whole time. All he does is fish.
Dude, honestly, I'm not gonna get my wife on here either. So she don't want to come on here. That's the thing. I was like, would you ever want to? And she's like, no. I'm all, would you ever want to even leave an outro? Like, thanks for watching Dave's stupid podcast. She's like, no, I want nothing to do with this. I'm like, okay.
I think I could see Stacy doing it. I don't think my wife would do it.
I'm talking Stacy, and I'm trying to talk her. She just doesn't like to talk, but I'll get her. She'll get on the show. I'll get her on the show.
Maybe I don't know. It would be kind of funny though to hear Allie on it, but I don't know.
Maybe we'll get them both on together, and then they can make plans without you guys, and that would be awesome. If I could,
just destroy us for an hour long.
Jeez.
No, I'll lure her in. I'll bring the dog in. You know what I'm saying? I'll just bring the dog up here, and he can sit next to me. He's actually the only person I allow in this garage. Like, I'm super particular because, I mean, I'll let the baby sit in the boat. She likes boat rides because I got that Boondocks cart, so we just wheel around the garage. She loves it. But my son in here or my wife in here, everything gets messed up and tools and stuff are everywhere, and I don't know which way is what, you know. But the dog comes in here, he sniffs around, he lays down, he goes to sleep. I'm like, bro, you're the only person that's allowed in here. For sure. Yeah. So speaking of which, Brad, you were out of town, right?
What'd you say? I'm out of what?
You're out of town, right? You're not at home right now.
You cut
right?
out for a second. Yeah, I'm in Canton right now. Canton, Ohio.
Oh. And what are you doing out there? Let's hear it.
Just work.
I know you got a new job, so. Ooh.
Yep. Just there's the hotel. So
not only are you traveling for fishing, you're traveling for yourself too for work. What are you finding in Canton? Anything interesting?
Actually, I went to a barbecue place today. It was pretty good. It's called Mission Barbecue. Really good. I had brisket and fries.
Yeah, there's a Mission right down in North Carolina you see them in a lot of because they're super military focused. So you see them a lot of base like towns and stuff. Stacy, it's like one of her favorite places ever to go. Mission Barbecue. Like there's one coming to the Dayton Mall area. So
that makes sense. You said that because they had a ton. They had like all the military flags and stuff inside of there. So it was cool.
Yeah, like pictures and patches and stuff.
Yep. But yeah, I was up in Youngstown earlier today, and then I actually hit the river up here, and then after I got done working, and then crazy stuff happened where like the hotel that I went to was out of power, so I had to cancel that reservation, everything. Had to drive an hour south, so it was stupid.
So you did get some fishing in? You got some fishing time in? Was it like
I did, probably like 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, my fishing time is like 15 minutes. I'm like, I got 15 minutes. I'm gonna catch as many as I can.
Yeah,
that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So when you're out of town and you're fishing, is it different? Are you hunting different types of water? Are you looking for the similar water that you're used to fishing?
I go and look for rivers. So basically, what I'm fishing at home, like. There's an abundance of lakes around here, and I could fish from the banks from all of them, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather just hit a river. So yesterday I was looking through On Water and everything to see where I could find some spots to hit a river up here. I know of the rivers up in this area, so I knew which river I wanted to hit. So I was going to hit the Mahoning River, went on the On Water app, and I found a couple dams that I was going to hit, and that's what I ended up doing today.
I feel like fishing a river from the bank is a little bit more. Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, stud.
Tank, and it was cool though because they were knocking the dam down as I was fishing.
Really?
Yeah, they had a backhoe and it was just going, pulling all the chunks of concrete off.
And the smallmouth are still just eating.
I guess.
They love it. They're like, oh yeah, new food everywhere. That's all.
Chaos. They love chaos.
Yeah. Agents of Chaos, smallmouth bass. That 100%. Needs to be a Chegan shirt right there. Is Agents of Chaos just across the smallmouth.
That'd be sick. Yeah, that'd be dope.
I don't know him. That's on y'all.
That doesn't matter. Just send him a DM anyway.
So when you do that when you're out of town, is it more like a break for you, or is it just like I love fishing and I got some time, so I'm just gonna go?
I love fishing and I want to hit new bodies of water. But at the same time, it's kind of hard because you're not familiar with the areas. You don't know which section of the river is good or what's not. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, back on our home river, I know which sections are good, which sections are not. So, when you're going to a new body of water that you're not familiar with, you're kind of like rolling the dice. Yeah. So sometimes you'll just catch a bunch of small ones. Other times you'll catch one big one like I did today. So it's just a gamble.
I feel like fishing in a river, though, fishing rivers and creeks, at least for me personally, because that's kind of where I started, was in creeks and moving water. I feel like fishing from the bank there, you can cover so much more water because it's not some vast abyss. You know, it almost sets a little bit more confidence into you because you know in sections of the river, okay, this is where bass would set up just beyond this riffle because all that food's going to become filtering through and they're just going to be eating right here in this eddy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, you can kind of like break it down into smaller portions that way, and you can make big water small really fast as compared to where if you're fishing from the bank on a lake, dude, you could be 2 miles away from the nearest fish. You could be fishing a bunch of dead weeds and you have no clue. You know, you have no clue what's down there until you accidentally snag something and bring it up, you know? So
a creek is like a smaller version of a river. So if you can crack a creek, you can bring that over to a river.
Yep. What about you, Matt? What did you end up getting into today?
Oh, today was just work day, man. Beginning of the work week is always rough, full of conference calls that should be emails and other stupid crap that I have to deal with from the weekend. But yeah, it was just working, got off, came home, edited what little Wisconsin footage I had left because the SD card that has all of it is a permanent fixture behind my dash in my truck. So yeah, that's gone. But I had some on my phone, so I edited that, and then it's Monday Night Football, so I'm actually multitasking and watching the game at the same time.
I love it. I love it. Yep, dude. I was curious though. How is your new truck? Like, I know that you bought a new truck. We've talked about it a little bit. How you liking it?
Oh, I like it. It's so like I had an 18, and then this is a 21, so it wasn't like a huge jump, but it's better on gas because it's a different motor. Still has plenty of power, which is nice. Tows, I mean, fine. I've towed some bigger things, but mostly just a kayak trailer. So like a Volkswagen Bug can tow that without much issue. But it's got a big screen. It's just neat. It's cool. But no, man, I really like it. It's good. It's like, it's just a cool truck. It's just everything that's on it. So I'm happy with it.
Good. Hell yeah, dude. So Brad, important question. You guys just went on a trip in Matt's truck. Did you leave a time capsule?
Did I leave a time capsule?
Yeah. Did you not leave a time capsule? Dude, you had a road trip. There's got to be a memory that you leave behind that Matt will find like a year down the road and be like, this guy.
Oh, kind of like when Matt, our buddy Jeff left a taco in our
yeah. That's essentially a time capsule. Yep.
Yes, exactly. Something like that, you know, or like I used to write on like empty cans of Zin or something like that. I'd write on the inside of the lid and put my name and the date and what we were doing, and then I'll just throw it under somebody's seat and leave it there, and just I'll lose the points, but it's the memory that matters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. Brad's constant flatulence is permanently part of my truck, and it smells like rancid eggs. So don't worry. Yeah, he left a permanent time capsule. It's like one of those loops that never stop playing.
Slurping glizzies and just leaving bombs, dude.
It was rough. It was rough.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was eating that freaking hot dog like.
I love it.
Good.
Oh, Lord. So you guys have known each other since high school?
No,
like
6 or
toddlers.
7.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we were super young. I mean, Brad's 2 years older than me, so I think he was like 7 and I was 5, something in there. Yeah, we've been hanging out for a long, long time.
So how was the road trip then? Like, you guys are married, you guys are settled. I mean, you guys are still close friends. You guys do a podcast every, whatever day of the week you do it, and it lands on Mondays. But like, what was the road trip like? Because I mean, if I got a chance to take a road trip with my childhood friends, I would almost feel like I took it for granted because I feel like there would be a lot left unsaid just because we're so used to doing it. You know what I'm saying? We're so used to being around a lot.
We talk like the whole time. We talk about stupid stuff. Like we talked about. Let's see.
Autism.
We talked about autism and how it affects like our current like generation and culture. We talked about 401ks and stocks. Mm-hmm. We talked about stupid semi-truck drivers. We talked about stupid roads, stupid tolls, which I forgot to check the trailer tag. I gotta check that and see if I have any tolls on that. we talked about that. We talked about, I mean, we just talked about everything. I like didn't really take it for granted. So me and Brad have been friends for so long. So we were, like you said, friends since we were 5 and like 7. When I graduated high school, we moved in together in the apartment, lived together for what, a year and a half, 2 years before I went in the Marine Corps, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Went in the Marine Corps. A lot of my friends that I was friends with before I went in the Marine Corps, which a lot of guys will tell you this, you go in the military, it's you go in the military and then everyone back home, you know, oh, when you come home, come see me, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, they don't talk to you or text you or anything. Me and Brad pretty much talked. We didn't talk as much as we used to. And it was mostly just because I was always doing something like every day. And a lot of times I couldn't have my phone, but we would still talk to each other. Then we were sending stupid vines to each other and crap. Yeah,
he skipped out on my wedding.
Oh, I didn't skip on your wedding. I was deployed. I didn't have a choice.
I mess with him about that.
It makes me so mad, dude. Because I like obviously I was supposed to, I was supposed to be your best man.
Yeah,
and so we're going and everything, and it's getting closer. And then my deployment got moved up, and I was like, Brad, I can't go. And he was like, no, it's all right, man. And now every couple months, he's like, hey, remember that time you missed my wedding? It's like, shut up, dude. Like,
he's like, I was on a boat.
Yeah, I was like, I had no choice. Like, leave me alone. But yeah, I mean, it's almost, other than Brad's wedding, every major event in both our lives, we've been a part of it. So it's more like Brad's like, I have an older sister, don't have a brother. Brad's my brother.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, I didn't have biologically, but he's still my brother. Like, so we do what most brother relationships go. It's not, we never take each other for granted, I think, because we just, right after the Wisconsin trip, I got home, Brad got in his truck, and we were texting later that night. Like, it's nonstop. So
yeah, that's cool. I just know that for me, I feel like I would take it for granted because I got a brother, like he's a friend of mine I've had since childhood, and we talk pretty often, but every time we hang out, we don't really, we do the check-ins, like, you know how, hey, just checking in on my friend, just seeing how you're doing, you know, we do that via phone, via text, via talk, you know, over the phone. We'll have a longer conversation every few months, you know, just sit there on the phone. But when we get together, we just are laughing and having a good time, and then we have stories for the next time we talk on the phone. Hey, remember that time 2 months ago? Yeah. And, you know, it's just, but I feel like those are the times that I forget to sit down with like my homie, like, dude, we got time, like face to face, like, what's up? Because, you know, what is miserable in your life right now? Like, what is hurting you inside right now? Because there's something that's eating away at you slowly, whether it's a major thing or a small thing, you know. And because I know my friend, and my friend knows me, so we can kind of do that with each other, but we do it over the phone, and I always forget to do it face to face because I feel like face to face conversations, and it just has a little bit more of an impact, like a little bit more of a setting with two close friends, you know. So I feel like when I do get time for my friends, I take it for granted a little too much these days.
Well, like, how close does he live to you?
580 something miles.
Okay, so there's the big difference. Like, Brad's 15 miles away from me.
Yeah.
I would say, not counting the podcast, because obviously I didn't start doing a podcast with Brad until 2020. No, 21.
I don't know.
I think it was either 2020. I think it was 21 actually. When we were still on paddle and fin, but we would fish every weekend because, again, we're so close. So, and during the week, like, I'd get off work, Brad would get off work, and we'd go fish 2 or 3 nights a week. So I think, like, I understand, like, I have friends who, again, I was in the Marine Corps with, they live in like South Carolina, Georgia, and it's the check-ins. Hey, how's it going? And I mean, I haven't seen a lot of those guys in a long time, other than FaceTime. Like, you know, I haven't seen them actually face to face.
Yeah.
So I understand that relationship, like where you're coming from with Brad. He's so close. I see him all the time. But like the deep stuff, we really didn't start talking about that. Like, again, we've been friends for 30 years. We didn't really start talking about that until the last 2 years, really. That was the last time, like, we start bringing it up. Like, Brad, you know, brought some stuff up. I'd bring some stuff up when I'm feeling down or something's bugging me. I'll just say it. Like, so again, everyone who knows, and I have no problem saying this, so moms, you're listening, it's a joke. But everyone knows in the Marine Corps, or not the Marine Corps, the military, you always make like, this is a sore subject. So if I upset anybody, I'm sorry. I'm really
no.
I don't care. Like we make fun of like suicide all the time. We just do. Like, oh man, I got to go sweep the floor. I might as well just jump off the stairs. And like, or you'll look down. Like me and Brad do this. We'll be like going under a bridge or something when we're fishing. I was like, I wonder if I got up there, if I just jump head first, if I die. Like it's just stupid stuff. But a couple years, like it was like 2 years ago. And this is how I knew Brad's like family, because it was like 2 years ago. I was like, dude, I'm just really down. Like it would almost be easier if I just wasn't here. And that's a lot of veterans. I mean, not just veterans, but a lot of people go through that and they think that. And Brad's like, I'd just bring you back and kill you again. Like it's just it's like when you hear that, you're like, oh, that wasn't very nice. But if you really knew what he meant, because he was serious, because he said right after that, I was like, oh, haha. He's like, no, I'm serious. Don't do that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And it's the way, like, if normal people heard that and be like, oh, wow, you're a terrible friend. But I know Brad. So, and I understand when I said that, it got him legitimately upset.
Yeah.
So that's like, we talk about heavier stuff here and there. But at the same time, I don't know, Brad's kind of like Brad's a vet without ever being in the military, because nothing ever really bothers him. Like he just bottles it up. And then every 9 to 12 months, he says one thing, and then he bottles it all back up. Just like me, like every year to half a year and a half, I'm like, man, this is bad.
Yeah.
When are we going fishing?
My wife hates it. She's like, you need to talk more. I'm like,
dude. So like Stacy, she just put down, which is really sad. You just put down her like childhood dog. Just got put down. Really sad. And everyone who follows me knows our dogs are like the center of Stacy's world, center of my world. Love our dogs. And she was really sad, and I was sad, but I just don't show anything. And I kind of move on fast, because the faster I move on with it, the less I have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And she was like, I wish I was like you, and I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you just don't feel anything. I was like, I feel stuff, but you don't want to be like me, because it's not a good way to live, because you just don't feel emotion. Like you just close it all out. And then one day when I'm 57, my heart's going to explode. Something's just going to set off. I was like, this isn't like, don't be jealous of just me being able to turn off the emotions. It's good to have them. I just don't know how to. I just move on really fast. I try not to let stuff bother me, because I feel like it's going to affect the rest of my life. And it is what it is.
Hey, I'm not going to say it's not normal. I'm not going to say it's not normal, but I definitely have had a similar conversation with my wife many a times, and we had quite different upbringings in quite different areas for sure. And it was more along the lines of, she would say, look, you don't open up for me enough to me know when you are genuinely feeling something and when you are genuinely not. You just speak from a logical state of mind. You say, this is how this makes me feel, and then you move on like a robot. And I'm like, yeah, but no, I laugh and giggle all the time. And she's like, yeah. That's part of the robot. Like, you need to remind me that you are being, like, right now you are hurting, or this is going on. I'm like, oh, okay. So the other day she said something. I'm like, that really hurt my feelings. And then, it didn't go over as well as I thought it was going to go. I thought I was going to have
dude, it does
emotional breakthrough with her. And she's going to be like, oh, you're so great. And now she's like, tough up. I was like, oh, yeah, of course.
Get over it. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, I'm not. I just can't. It's weird. It's and I think this is like a guy thing too, because we're all from. I'm not going to say this new generation's weak, but because they're not weak, they just they deal with emotion differently.
Yeah.
And I grew up like, boys don't cry. Boys don't show emotion. I've seen my dad cry one single time. It was at the church send-off the Sunday before I went to boot camp. And it was like one of those emotional, like, one single tear. And then it like evaporated off his face. Like, Brad knows my dad. He's just like a manly man.
Yeah.
And it's like he doesn't ever show anything. Like, he shows just like every man, like me, even like me, I don't really show happiness a lot. I do. Like, I do the, like my wife says it's a glitch in the matrix, because I'll like laugh or something, like when I'm happy or something, or I'll smile occasionally. My dad does the same thing. It's like, smile, oh yeah, and then it's just right back to stone face. And that's just how we were raised. So I think that goes into it a little bit too. And in all honesty, if I don't have the emotion, I don't have to deal with the emotion. So whatever.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
just shovel more on the pile and keep moving.
Yeah, dude, you get a tamper and you just start tamping it down farther.
Yep.
It's like when you push your hand in a trash can. You got to make sure you have room. The only one that escapes is anger. That comes out a lot, but I'm working on that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's yeah. So I did want to jump back real quick. You guys went from high school. You moved into each other. You moved into an apartment with each other. You guys lived with each other what, a couple years?
Like a year and a half or two, yeah, something like that.
Okay. So who's the messiest one of the two of you?
Me.
Matt.
Yeah,
100% me. Yeah. I also, in my defense, I didn't have a room, so me and Brad lived in a single bedroom apartment. In like, it wasn't the ghetto, but it wasn't nice. So like I slept on a futon couch for the first like 3 or 4 months, and I was like, dude, I bought this futon for like $50. And I was like, dude, at one point we had it held together with like a wire hanger. It was falling apart. And I was like, and I only remember that because it poked a hole in the wall. Like that's the only reason I remember that hanger. And then
my deposit.
Well, I would say, no, he said that because I moved out right before I went in the Marine Corps because I stayed home to save money.
Yeah.
And he was like, there was this thing called a hookah.
Oh yeah,
you remember the burn marks in the carpet from David?
That's what I was getting ready to say. So we had this guy, our buddy, who was there all the time. He'd always drop the coals, and he'd just burn holes in the carpet. So like Brad was telling me he had to fix that. He had to fix that hole in the wall, the scuffs, and like he had to fix a bunch. We were all stupid. But at one point, I moved from the futon to a couch my parents had that they replaced, and it was a pull-out couch. So I slept on that. Yeah. And then we had the couch, and then we had a dining room corner that had this table that we just all wrote on and just did stupid stuff on. And we got rid of that. And I just put a bed on the floor. Like that was my room. So my room I had the biggest room, but it was also everyone else's room. So I got blamed for a bunch of stuff.
You had the biggest living room. Yes.
I had the living room. Yeah. It was great. My closet was a coat. I don't know. I feel like Brad's looking at something. So I feel like he's trying to pull up a picture of what it was, but
it's just a hookah and a bunch of empty Mountain Dew cans, just chill.
There was a bunch of Mountain Dews, dude. There was a bunch of that.
Dude,
we had, it was Mountain Dew things everywhere. We had a whole cabinet. All our dinnerware were Cousin Vinny's cups. Oh, yeah. That's like we had like 60 of those. It was great because they had the big tin, dude. For $10, you got a large pizza, like 12 or 14 breadsticks and 2 drinks. Yeah, me and Brad like just $5 a piece. We ate like kings. It's great.
Yep. I had a homie. We did the dollar menu at Wendy's at the beginning of the week, and that's what we crushed all week long. It was just super easy and no dishes, no nothing. And we wanted plates because we knew we were gonna have like females over or something like that. We'd order a pizza like the night before and have them send extra plates with the pizza. Just, all right, we got plates now.
Now the best thing ever is like my dude, Baconators, dude. We the day that came out, we went to Wendy's and got 2 of them a piece, and we ate them, dude. It was like our bathroom's never not been used because it was a rough 2 days. I'm just saying there was a cork up there, nothing was coming out. Yeah. But what's even cooler is like me and Brad be living together, and my mom would text me. She's like, "Hey, I'm coming over," and I tell Brad, I was like, "Hey, my mom's coming over." You know what that means? He look at you like groceries because she would bring like 40 bags of groceries. Like it took me and Brad and my mom like 4 trips up our stairs. We were on the 3rd floor. And our fridge would be full. She'd bring like 48 Mountain Dews that would go through in like a day and a half. And we'd have cereal and milk and everything. And then we'd get out of it. And I would just like wouldn't tell her. And then we're just eating Cousin Vinny's or going to the Sonic down the road.
Ooh, Luciano's Pizza.
Luciano's. Yeah, we had Luciano's a lot. It was a good time. It was a good time for sure.
That's awesome. So, Brad, when he decided he was going to go, did you decide, or were you like told you had to go to the military?
No, I decided. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, when I got out of high school, I was dating a girl at this point. I got out of high school, and I talked to a recruiter right out of high school, and my mom was against it. My girlfriend at the time didn't like it, but was okay. Her dad was military, so it was a little bit different. So I was talking, and it was like a 6 or 7 month process. And then me and that girl actually broke up. I got in a car accident and destroyed my back. just with whiplash, like nothing major. And I texted him, was like, hey, I was in a car accident. My back's kind of jacked up. He's like, all right, well, just let me know when you're ready. We'll continue. Nothing happened for like a year. And yeah, dude, those are all 2 liters that my mom brought.
That's awesome.
Here's
Yeah.
the table.
Yep. There's the table.
All over.
Jeez,
So everybody
man.
that came and visited, they drew a table.
So
And
that was our
then
average
I was
dinner.
trying to find a spot where you had your. Yep. I don't have any other pictures of it. I was thinking of something else.
I have them all, but they're all on a phone somewhere in the bottom of lake in Florida. So,
Pool party.
So, yeah, dude, we had the pool on property. But yeah, so after I got in that car accident, I texted him. I didn't talk to him for like a year, and then he just showed up at my house. My recruiter did, and I was like, I guess, yeah, that was Jeff. He's like, I was like, I guess we're doing this. So he came in. My mom was there. My dad was upstairs, and I was talking to the recruiter downstairs, and all I hear is Phil. Like my mom's yelling. She doesn't want me to go in the Marine Corps. My dad comes down and he's going through they have these little tiles that have like honor, courage, commitment, travel, like pick the 3 that you, whatever. It's their salesman essentially. And I picked my 3 and everything. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I want to do it. And he's like, all right, come see me tomorrow. My dad was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I want to do it. I weighed 290 pounds at this point. And yeah, dude, it was Mountain Dew and just being fat and lazy and a piece of crap. And then within like 7 months, I lost 95 pounds or something like that. And then I went in the Marine Corps. It's crazy.
Dude. So Brad,
good times.
when he decided to do this, were you like, yeah, dude, you should do this? Or were you like, what?
I don't even remember really. Because he, like, you moved out before you joined the military.
Yeah, I moved out. It was like a month before. A month or 2 before I finally made a decision. And it was just mostly because of money thing. Like I was working at Best Buy and then I started working. No, I was working at Best Buy and then I left Best Buy to Mactown, which was an Apple store before Apple stores were a thing. I worked in an Apple store and then I moved out just because of money. Like Brad was making it fine and I was struggling here and there because I was young and I was stupid. I was just buying stuff I shouldn't. So I moved out. Just save a little bit of money, but I already knew, like when I moved out, I was like, dude, I'm joining the Marine Corps. So I was just moving out and to start to get ready. And I kind of was being lazy and dragging my feet. And then when he came, the fire was started. Yeah. And the next day, dude, I went down to the YMCA and just started running 3 miles a day. It's crazy.
So were you both fishing this whole time? Brad's out fishing, you're running?
No,
I was out fishing.
Yeah. So you were fishing the whole time. So
yeah, I would go to the same spot almost like 2 days a week, and I'd get skunked. Like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
That was before I knew what I was doing.
I feel like I know kind of what I'm doing, and then I still get skunked all the time. So when Matt came back,
there was a time.
Go ahead.
There was a time me, Matt, and our buddy Abram went to a lake. In the middle of the night, I don't know what the heck we were doing, but we ended up like throwing Texas rigged worms.
Yeah, we were throwing Texas rigged worms in like 200-foot water because it was right by the dam at Caesars Creek Lake. The dam there's like 300 foot deep, and we were throwing Texas rigs. I knew how to fish. I had fished growing up, and I kind of stopped when I got a little bit older, 17 to pretty much when I got to my first year in the Marine Corps. I didn't really fish at all, but I still remembered, obviously. So me and my buddy Abram, we went out and bought poles. I think, Brad, we gave you one of our poles or something that we bought. Or you bought a pole.
I think I bought one. It was like one of those old Shimano's, I don't know, $30.
We all went to Walmart and we bought rods. And we were just Texas rigging worms and we were just like casting. And that was like, I want to see how far I can cast at night. And I was just throwing this spinning rod. And just counting down. Like I remember counting down. I'm looking at the reel and I'm like, this is really deep.
Yep.
There's no fish here. And but we were out there and then we got chased away by a park ranger, which was just stupid. Yeah, dude, it was just a day.
Oh god.
I don't even remember that.
So when he came back from the military, Brad, you were like full blown fishing, you already had a kayak, or how did that work?
Oh yeah. I had a kayak in 2014. I think he came back in what, 16 or something?
17.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just like, meet me at the river. We're gonna jump in my boat, nuts to butts. Let's go. Or
Yeah.
how'd that work out?
No, you didn't even get a kayak till like, didn't you?
I had a
19?
kayak when I was in the Marine Corps. I had an Ascend 128T, which sucked. And I would fish like the estuaries down there. And then me and my buddy went in, me and my buddy Jordan, again in the Marine Corps. We went in together for one of those little bass raiders and then bought a Minn Kota 55 pound trolling motor and a car battery. Like we were just rolling on these estuaries. We were on like big lakes in this thing, just like puddling around and just having fun. And I was doing some co-angler tournaments when I was down there, like traveling within 200 or 300 miles trying to do those. And so I had that, but I traded it. I traded the kayak for a computer. I remember because I wanted to play like a gaming computer because I was playing this game. It's called Arma back in the day. It was like a military realism game game. And it was Brad farted. Anyway. So I traded it. I didn't have a kayak when I came home. And me and Brad, we would talk and everything. Like that's when we really started talking a lot again. And I would see him posting pictures of fish. And I was fishing a lot from the bank because I didn't have a kayak. I just got out of the Marine Corps. I was working 2 days a week at Fairborn Police Department. And the other 5 days, like I worked 7 days a week straight for like 3 years. I worked 2 days at the PD. And then Monday through Friday, I worked for the city of Fairborn cutting grass. And I was going to school at the same time. So I wanted to get my bachelor's in criminal justice and be a cop, which didn't work out mostly because that was during 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, when cops were just, the devil. Yeah. So I didn't want to deal with it, to be honest. I was like, man, I don't want to do this. I dealt with being the devil in other people's eyes before. I don't feel like doing it when I'm home. So I got my degree and everything, and I never really used it. And I started working at Gander Outdoors. I ran the fishing department, started part-time there because it was 2020, COVID hit. Fairborn released all of their seasonal workers, so no one was cutting grass except for the full-timers. So I didn't get called back, which sucked. My dad did because I worked with my dad at the park. He got called back, but I didn't. So what that tell you? So I started working.
Single tier.
Yeah, one tier. It came from me this time. Yes. But so I started working at Gander Outdoors in the fishing department because I was bank fishing a ton. And then I got a big fish 120 because we had them there and my discount was awesome. I got it for like $200, which was great. So I had this giant boat, and then I started going out with Brad and Justin, started fishing. Then I got rid of that and got an Old Town 106, the top water. Mm-hmm. And then, which became the Sportsman. It's the same boat.
Yeah.
And then once I got that Old Town, it really took off. Like I'd get off work on Tuesday. We meet at the river, the GMR right by me Tuesdays and then Thursdays. And then it kind of snowballed from there. And I was just kayak fishing, and we fished all the time.
So so Brad basically drug you out and you got yourself a kayak and then it went.
Essentially, that kayak sucked. That Old Town 106 sucked. Brad, I heard that. Everyone out there, that little before Brad started talking, that was him dropping a Duke in his pants.
Where's my banner? Oh.
Jeez.
That's hilarious.
No, I'm good with it. Keep it in. I'm good with it all.
Might as well just leave it on there because it's never going to not be there.
It's all them glizzies he be slamming lately.
Yeah, dude, nonstop. But yeah, no, Brad drug me out there. Like I wasn't fishing the river a lot. I got that kayak. I fished occasionally, and Brad's like, "No, come on out. We're going fishing." I was like, "All right." Then we go on the river, and that's it.
So then fishing together, did that change fishing for both of you, being able to fish together again?
Heck yeah, because it's a lot more fun fishing with somebody else. And as Matt knows, like when I'm on the water with somebody else, I act like an idiot.
Yeah.
So I don't fish nearly as well when I'm with somebody else because I'm acting like an idiot. But when I'm by myself, I tend to catch better fish. It's just, I don't know. I have more fun the other way.
I was about to say, I do the same thing. Like when I go out by myself, I tend to target, I slow down a little bit. I pay attention more, so you get those subtle bites. But when I would rather go fish with Brad all the time than go just fish by myself, for the simple fact, like, we still catch good fish together. It's cool because we catch good fish together and we can show each other the fish we caught. Or like when we were up in Wisconsin, I saw a fish eat his Chapo before he even basically hit the water. That was just cool to see. And then we just act stupid like all the time. It's great. Like, we just do dumb stuff.
It's like that release.
Yeah, we need to get some of the stupid stuff on video.
Dude, you really do. That stuff is gold, bro. I swear. Like, I have a problem when I'm hanging out with like my friends a lot of the time. I turn into like somewhat of a child. Like, I get super excited over. I'm just super antsy and excited. I'm just like, hey, we're all gonna do stuff. We're gonna do things, and it's gonna be tight and cool, and like whatever. I end up being a nerd the whole time and goofing off. Like, you guys saw when we were all at Old Town, I was like wandering around just chatting with everybody. Like, hey,
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, just because I was just excited. You know, I just get excited when I'm around like my friends and stuff. And so that kind of that excitement is genuine and completely relatable. And that's what I love about that stuff. Like, when you go, like, I'll go fishing with, like, I go fishing a lot. Like, don't get it twisted. A lot for my life. But when I get a chance to get out there, like my buddy Andy, dude, it's a whole nother ball game. Like, sure, we get on fish, but like, I have clips that I haven't put out yet about Andy's opinion on a jerk bait and why it's the best bait and why every other bait is effing Riri, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, he goes, it's deep. Like, I kind of want to start a separate YouTube and just put the video out there, just let it float in the ether for a while.
Andy's Antics. That's the name of the channel.
Yes.
I was gonna say, like, he sounds like my kind of guy, because when I get around buddies, I get really offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
bro. No, you guys are actually going to get a chance to meet Andy, and he's coming with me to Columbus this year. His wife's giving it to him
that'd
as
be
a
awesome.
Christmas present. So yeah, he's going to come, and
I want to see his wiener fingers.
Dude. So I have a feeling like anywhere I take Andy, people end up liking him more than me, including like companies that we've worked for. Like, they'll let me go before they let Andy go when layoffs come, just because they want him around. You know, like, the shit that comes out of his mouth is super awesome. But what I'm saying is that excitement is so relatable. Like, when you get to go fishing with your buddy and like just get out there and be bros and just do the damn thing. The fish is secondary. Sure, it's the reason for the mission, but chances are at the end of the day, it's a good trip. Whether you caught dinks, caught nothing, or caught a bunch of tanks. You know, you guys, there's a ton of shit that gets shared out there that it doesn't really get shared other ways. And that's what I was talking about originally when I was talking about sitting down with your friend face to face. Like, that quality time you get to spend with other people is like, bar none, the best times.
It was like the last day on our Wisconsin trip. Like, the fishing wasn't great, but we caught a ton of fish. And after we got done, we were like, yeah, it wasn't a bad day.
No.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, if I'd gone out by myself and caught, and I know when I say, like, my best 5 were 2 16s and a couple 15s. If it was here, I'd been like, man, like, by myself, I was like, they just sucked. Yeah. But even when we were up there, like, we were just like, we got to experience, and I said this to Brad when we were up there at the Wisconsin event. I was like, dude, the fishing's awesome. But when we get off the water, we would go to like hang out with everyone from the tournament. And I was like, that just makes it cooler. Like, you're hanging out with everybody, you get in a like-minded situation with everybody. It's the whole experience. And that's how it is when I fish with Brad. It's going out with somebody who thinks mostly like me. We both say the stupid, offensive jokes at the same time. And it's great.
Yes. Titanic jokes.
100%.
Dude, you had me weak.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised nobody else caught that on the video.
What? Nobody caught that?
Nobody else said anything yet.
Well, people suck. That's what it is. Either that or they saw my comment and were like, oh, he's too quick. You know, that guy.
Yeah.
No, anyway, so I do have a solution. I was thinking about this while we were talking. Since Matt, you missed Brad's wedding, you guys could do a renewal of vows, because I happen to know that Bobby Roast Beef is an ordained minister who can take care of that. I can
see him doing that.
Dude, I think it would be sick, honestly. I mean, not right in the middle of the expo, but like, you know what I'm saying? It would be a really tight experience. And then
that would be funny.
Then Brad can't say anything, Matt. You got to set it up so that way it's off your shoulders. No more of that weight.
He'll still bring it up.
Dude, bro, a renewal, a vow renewal, that's romantic. At least in my
I
opinion.
guess.
Yeah. But no, don't even say I guess, because you guys were arguing about light switches when I talked to you the last time we were talking. You guys were like, who put
Oh
this light
yeah,
switch
I
in?
forgot about
You
that.
did.
I still don't remember doing that.
Is that where you actually got all your like construction experience from? Was like trying to get your deposit back on the apartment that you and Matt had, so you had to remodel the whole place, or
Yeah.
No, I was doing construction before that, but like I put a hole. It was stupid. I put a hole in the wall because of a girl, so I had to end up patching that and everything. I never did get my deposit though for that apartment.
It's probably because they looked at the carpet and were like, that looks like checkers.
Dude, I scraped it all out. I was down there on my elbows scraping it out and everything. It made it look like you couldn't see it, but they never gave it to me.
Well, we're pretty sure there was also a dead body in the apartment across from us for like a month. So I'm not surprised. That place was sketchy.
Oh. So was it really good though? Back to what we were talking about. Was it really good to just get back out there once you got back from deployment and you were back?
Oh yeah.
Done with the military. You got to get out on the boat and just float with your buddies.
Yeah, so I got out of the Marine Corps, and like I said, other than Brad, a lot of my friends, like Brad and Justin Marshall, for everyone out there, J-Boy, who doesn't know, we're really the only two people who kept in constant contact other than family. But even then, when I got back, like Brad will even say, I'm different than I was growing up, obviously. I'm a lot more I'm fine with being alone. When I was younger, I wasn't. Like, I had to be with friends. I didn't like being alone all the time. But now I'm fine with it. So for like the first two and a half years, I didn't do anything with anybody. Like I said, I worked 7 days a week. I was always busy doing something, just to let my brain not work. And the first time I really went float fishing, even bank fishing, didn't really do it. First time I went kayak fishing, I was able to, like, my body finally released. And I could just relax. Like I did a show with Armando, Bass Beers and Kayaks, a couple years ago, and I talk about it on there. It's like a release, and Brad's the reason that I have that outlet now, which is really cool because he kind of pushed me into doing it. And it was awesome.
So you actually get that reset. Then it's not so much an escape; it's an actual like cleansing almost.
Yeah,
you,
I mean, I can. Yeah,
sorry.
No, you're good.
What about you, Brad? Is it
What's up?
kind of a fishing? Like when you get out on the water in your kayak, is it more of a reset for you, or is it just an escape, or is it just going through the motions?
Sometimes it's going through the motions because, like, especially lately, like we talked about burning out. Like I've had to like push myself to get out there. Like this past summer, I'm not a big heat guy. I think it's the heat. I don't do well in the heat. I hate it. So when it gets hot and stuff, I'm just like, whatever. I end up pushing myself to go out, but most of the time it is an escape. Like, I don't know. I don't have to think of anything when I'm out there, you know?
Yeah.
Which I'm not real stressed over anything anymore, I guess, but since I got this new job, it's like pretty laid back and chill now, but
but still, it's, I don't know, there's something to say, like, that whole it's on all the social medias, the video of all the people talking and this, that, and the other, and then the guy casts out his lure and it all goes quiet. It's like, in my opinion, like that's like a perfect example of an escape. It's not I'm hiding my rods by the trash can, so when the wife asks me to do chores, I'll just go grab my fishing rods and run down the street. It's like an actual shutdown. Like it's a full escape from whatever is going on, and you don't, like you said, you don't have to think, you don't have to problem solve. I mean, you have to problem solve, but it's for the fish. It has nothing to do with life in general. I feel that is more of a definition of the escape, because the reset is going out. I'm going out. I could care less if I catch a fish. I am going out and I'm going to go out, get on the water, and I'm going to do what I know how to do. And if they bite, they bite. And if they don't, they don't. I picked the wrong pattern to follow today. but at the end of the day, you come home and it still feels like a great day. You know, like that's what I was kind of talking about when you guys go out with your buddies, like whether you catch fish or not. You know, that's that reset. Yeah, the scissor sisters.
That's one of the best feelings, though. Like when you are burnt out and you get done with the trip after catching like a 19-incher or whatever.
Yeah.
And you go home and you're like, that was awesome.
Yeah, dude, it reignites it. Yeah, I mean, when I go out, I just turn my brain off. Like I've said it on shows too, when we just talk. Like when it's just me and Brad and we don't have a guest or anything, I'm like, dude, these are my favorite shows. I don't have to think about anything. Yeah. The podcast has become kind of like a relief. Like there's sometimes I don't want to do it. I'll just tell her. There was earlier this year, me and Brad were like, yeah, I don't feel like doing a show this week. We just didn't do a show. But most of the time, the podcast is like something to where I can get on and kind of forget everything else and just focus on the show, what we're talking about. And when it's just me and Brad, my favorite shows, I don't have to think. We just talk. Like it's just
listener question episodes.
Yeah, dude, listener questions are great because I don't have to plan anything. I just have to read a screen and say what comes to my brain. That's it. It's awesome.
And search up black chatterbaits.
And search up black chatterbaits and buy a ton of them.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Z-Man's coming out with the black jackhammer.
Yep, black. I'm so pumped. They're finally bringing it over from Japan after like 15 years.
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of where I was going with all this. Is you guys, Brad got into paddle and fin. You got into paddle and fin, Brad, or
back in 2019.
Yeah, and so you had run the podcast for what, a year before Matt kind of came on, before you kept having Matt on.
It's probably 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah,
dude. So what's in the podcasting? Like you got to meet a cool bunch of cool people, all this kind of stuff. How has that really benefited you as a person? Is it life lessons learned, or is it just fishing information? Or
dude, fishing information, networking with people, that's a big thing. Like a lot of people, they know who Jeff Little is, they know who Drew Gregory is, but I know them on a more personal level because of podcasting, which is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. That's super. So relationships. So you got to build relationships. Like that's cool. Like you grew your friend group.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's all if that's all that ever comes out from podcasting, I would say it's 100% worth it because I've always looked up to Drew Gregory because of his YouTube videos and his TV show that he had. I always thought he was cool, good fisherman, loves smallmouth.
Hell yeah. So you decided to bring Brad or try to bring Matt in the fold for this, or was it just?
Yeah, we were, let's see. So I went through various co-hosts at Paddle and Fin, and then there was one time the guy, Josh Eldridge, at the time he left. So I was like, dude, Matt, you got to get in on this. Because I know Matt wanted to get into the sponsorship stuff. So I was like, this is the easiest way for you to do it. Mm-hmm. So I invited him on the show, and that's how we got started.
There. Yeah, I was about to say, Josh couldn't do a show for whatever reason, and he texted me. He's like, Matt, do you want to co-host? And I was like, yeah, I'll co-host. What are we talking about? And I remember I was so nervous. Like, I didn't have a mic or anything. And so I co-hosted, and I was like, dude, that was sick. And then it was a couple weeks later, Josh, there was like a post or something, or me and Brad were talking about it. He's like, yeah, Josh isn't doing it anymore. I was like, oh, okay. And then Brad's like, do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah. Just so I went out and got a mic. I still didn't have a good camera or anything. I just had the laptop, which is sitting right next to me. I was using that, my school laptop. And yeah, man, it's been
at the time, Jimmy wanted that spot. He was like, dude, I want to do the final cast with you. I'm like, well, I want to bring Matt on because he's wanting to get into this stuff.
Dude.
He's like, I understand.
So for you, Matt, then did you get the same type of benefit from podcasting? Was it the relationships, or was it information, or?
It was information. There were some things that, I didn't really think about when I was fishing, so it kind of changed my mind on fishing certain things. And then but it was mostly relationships. Like I kind of went into it because I wanted to grow in kayak fishing. I was doing tournaments a lot then, was like, dude, I want to get sponsors and I can use this by network. But it mostly came down to the same thing Brad says. Like, we went up to Wisconsin. I'd never met Jeff Little in person before, but we've talked to him on the show a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like he was a friend. Like, I just went up to him, I was like, hey, what's up, Jeff? And, we just started talking to talk. Same thing with Drew. I met him in person the first time 2 years ago at the Columbus Expo. And we had him on a show before that and just talked to him. He's just a friend. And we text now. Like, I just talk to him all the time now.
He was showing us the design of the Crescent Shoaly at the time, like the preliminary. Yeah. Oh, he was showing us on his phone, so we got to see it before it even came out.
Like almost a year before, like 9 months before it came out. Like, it was dope. And like it's just cool. Like Brad said, it's all the relationships. Like, the networking is really cool. Like, that's how we have such a good relationship with Z-Man. I have, which Brad does too, have we had a good relationship with Sunline Line, Douglas Rods. That wasn't just from the podcast. I kind of came in after that. It was from the Paddle and Fin days. But networking is definitely there, but the relationships, like, I call so many people are my friend now. Like, I talk to Taku Itu on the regular.
Okay. Like,
I talk to Taku, I've talked to Chad Pipkins after we've had him on the show, just to talk to him. So yeah, it's been cool, just the amount of people that I now can just text, and just talk to, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, dude. So we're rounding the hour, and I know that you guys want to like kind of go to bed because it's a totally different time where you're at than where I'm at for sure. I'm like 7 o'clock. I'm ready to eat tacos and like chill. Southern California, so we just eat a lot of tacos and burritos. But I do have I have a couple questions that are just like real. You can either choose to answer or not. Has there ever been a time in your life where your bills have been affected by your fishing tackle purchases?
No, not for me.
100% for me. It was only once. It was one time.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was the only time. It didn't really affect my bill. I guess it affected my bills because I was tight after I paid my bills. Oh, okay. So I bought a reel when I was in the Marine Corps still. I bought a reel after I paid all my bills, and I was like, my wife was like, hey, we need to go to the grocery store. I was like, let's go to the grocery store tomorrow because we don't have enough money to go today. So
yeah, Matt knows, and we've talked about it on the podcast. Like, I'll go into a store and he'll come out with like $100 worth of stuff. I'll have a bag of something in my hand. I'll be like, you know what? I don't need this, and I put it back and walk out without buying anything.
You hurt my feelings because I'll do what Matt does. Yeah,
I'm telling you, I don't really do it as often anymore. Like, when we went to Wisconsin, I bought some stuff just because I needed like a couple extra choppos and some other hooks. Mm-hmm. But I routinely now will walk into stores and I might buy. I went to Bass Pro before we left and I bought one choppo. That's all I bought. Like, if I'm buying tackle now, it's JDM stuff that I've seen that I want to try, and I'll buy a bag from Hookup Tackle, and it's I pay more in shipping than I do for the bait.
I love their website.
Oh yeah.
So, Brad, you on the Hookup?
Yeah, I'm pretty set on what I throw and stuff. So like, there's not a bunch of stuff that I need to buy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I know you guys have talked about this on the podcast before. Like, Matt is the doomsday preparer on the kayak, and Brad, you haven't changed your net in like 6 months. Like, it's
pretty much.
Yeah.
Except I lost like 12 of them today.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. You got snagged up, yeah?
Yeah, plenty of times today.
Get on that EWG grind. It won't happen.
I was gonna say, I still lose a couple of EWGs and rocks, but that's because I'm Riri and just can't do everything correctly.
Well, you have two big rocks like this that have a crevice there, and it gets caught in between them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm too aggressive. I don't want to blow up my own spot, so I'll just break it off and throw another one in there because I know there's fish in there, and then I'll go get the lure later. But yeah,
I've done that. I've done that.
So, Brad, have you ever? I'm gonna ask Brad first. Brad, when you go fishing, have you ever just stopped and set down your rods to enjoy the time? Like take
Oh,
a
yeah.
look around and just enjoy the water, take a breath. Do you guys ever do the
Oh, yeah.
sunrise? You get the blue light?
Oh yeah, definitely. I even got pictures of it. Like I was out there on the water one time that jumps in my mind. I was out there before the sun even came up. I was sitting there and the sky was red. You know what they say, that sky's red, whatever, rain, and I don't know. I don't know how it goes, but yeah, it ended up raining later that day, but it looked awesome. I just sat there and, just watched it. It was cool.
Dude, that's so awesome. Yeah, there's a thing hooked to your actual biological, like mental or physical clock, where if you take in the blue light directly from the sun as it's rising in the morning, it resets your circadian rhythm, which is basically your body's timing for releasing, whether it be dopamine or cortisol or whatever it happens to be, like the chemicals that your body releases for you to wake up. And the more blue light that you absorb in the morning, the less cortisol you'll actually have pumping through your system. It actually helps break down cortisol. Gives you like depression and negativity because it's just part of your sleep chemical, which is your body being down. So the more blue light you get in the morning, you can actually lessen your cortisol, but it also resets your circadian rhythm. So by the time you wake up, your tired time is going to be a little bit earlier, and if you follow that, like going to bed earlier, no matter what, like follow that rhythm, you can actually reset your internal clock and your body will actually benefit from it. Just weird.
That's interesting.
That's what I was asking you, if you ever take that blue light in. Matt, what about you, dude? You ever stop, set down the rods and just enjoy it for a little bit?
Yeah, I do it almost every time we're out, unless it's a spot. Like when we do the downtown Dayton stretch, I don't, because I'm afraid what I'm going to see. But every other place I go to, yeah, dude. Well, Pickle Park, yeah, my eyes are on my feet. But no, like when we were in Wisconsin, I remember it's just Brad's looking, he's trying to see something else. Like even up in Wisconsin, I put my rods down and I just motored. Like it was me and Brad had split. We talked about on the show, we'd split, and I didn't get lost, but I was like, I don't know where I'm at. I'm just gonna drag across the sandbar. And I got off the boat to stretch my legs and pee. And as I was walking back to the boat, I just sat on the front of my boat and just looked around and just like kind of chilled in the moment. But yeah, I do that pretty regularly. Being outside it's like a breath of fresh air, literally and figuratively. I'm a big fan. So yeah,
that's the term. And you ever take that morning light in? You ever?
I have before. Yes, it's not often now. One of my dogs has to take medicine at the same time every morning.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going fishing, I usually won't get out there till like 8, just because I have to give the mutt his seizure pills at 7:30. But I'm up almost every morning. My body, like I can force myself to sleep if I have to. But my body will wake me up at 5:30 to 6 every single morning. So when the sun's not up in the summer and we get in the winter, or when the sun's not up yet, I usually can go downstairs and sit on my back porch, faces where the sun comes up, and I pull it in. But
hell yeah. Yep. I do it. My front porch faces the sunrise, so I do coffee in the morning, and just even if I don't, because most of the time I don't get to go fishing, I got a baby crying somewhere, or a kid running around shooting his Nerf gun in the neighbor's window, or something's going on, so
I'm not a morning person. I can't do that.
Oh yeah, no, I got to, I got to, and I always take that blue light in. It's just something that helps me break my brain down on a regular basis. Yeah. Well, dude, you guys are super rad, and thank you for allowing me to do this. Like, I know it's we've been talking in circles for a little while, or I have anyways. But I really appreciate you guys coming on here and kind of letting us in a little bit more, like the relationship with you guys, and you guys letting me do this. No one would have ever given me this opportunity. I swear to God. So I'm
really excited to listen.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm super pumped. It's going to become the new norm.
Yeah. It's going to be I feel like sometimes it's going to be a little bit intense, and other times it's going to be wiener fingers and me just, fart dicking around, So
yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, dude, that's the joy of it. It's the roller coaster of it. But I don't know, just because I can't remember, because blown up brain. So everyone leave me alone. When are your shows coming out?
So my shows are going to come out every other Wednesday, because if I do every Wednesday, I would sacrifice a marriage or something, you know. So every other Wednesday is the target and what I want to start with, and I feel like that's a good, because you don't need this dose every week, but you know, every now and then good dose every couple weeks.
I get this dose every day.
Yeah, you do.
I love it.
Well, we got that lovely. I'm about to dose that thread in a minute. Anyways, the way you're applying that Carmex right now, you know, you'll see.
It's actually coconut lip balm from Bath and Body Works. My wife left it on my desk, and I saw it, and I was like, I'm gonna use some, because when I go give her a kiss when I get off here, she's gonna be mad. So I used her lip balm.
Good.
Hey man, there's nothing gay about nourished lips.
Oh, good. I love you guys, dude. Thank you for doing this, and I appreciate you guys help me do the send off. So,
yep.
For sure, brother. Appreciate you having us on,
dude. This is gonna be the start of something fun, and either way, we'll still have we'll still have each other if it doesn't work out. So
the 3 best friends that chat. It's great. Hopefully, they never get released, because we're all going to prison.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna sign off on this thing. I don't have an outro yet because I'm not fancy like you guys. But if you guys enjoy this, you guys can find this on all the podcast formats, Apple Music, Spotify, etc. You can also find the video on YouTube, and you can look at all of our stupid faces and all the dumb stuff I do while they're actually talking. And yeah. If there's any questions, you can find me on Instagram at Wolf Walmart. You can find Brad and Matt at Matt Sowders Fishing, Brad Hicks Fishing, or the Catch Podcast on Instagram and not TikTok, because I tried to find you guys on TikTok today. Yeah, Whole Anglers on Instagram, the Whole Angler Podcast. Jump on, give us a follow. Check out the podcast. I'll be out in 2 Wednesdays. Adios.
Peace.
See ya.